I've seen a lot in my life, lost a lot too, but nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared me for the nonsense that went down on a train ride last Thanksgiving. You'd think losing a leg in combat would earn a person just a bit of peace in public. But turns out there's always someone ready to test your patience, and this one tested mine so hard she ended up in cuffs. So here's what happened. I was taking the train into Oak Valley to spend a long weekend with my mom. She's getting older, lives alone, and frankly, I just missed her cooking. I can't drive long distances anymore, not comfortably anyway, since I lost my right leg from the knee down in Afghanistan. Stepped on something I shouldn't have while out on patrol. Things blew up. My life changed, and eventually I got fitted with a titanium prosthetic. I walk fine now. Most folks don't even notice unless they're looking real hard. But it still hurts sometimes, especially if I can't stretch it out. So when I ride the train, I always book the designated accessible seat. It's not about special treatment. It's about functioning without grinding my teeth through the ride. Anyway, I boarded early, found my seat near the door with extra leg room, popped open a paperback, and let the noise of the train melt away. It was shaping up to be a decent ride until she stepped on. You ever feel someone's eyes burning into your neck? That was her. She came in loud heels, clacking perfume like citrus bleach, and parked herself a few rows back, but it was like I could feel her breathing down my collar. I didn't react at first, just focused on my book. But then she stood up, marched down the aisle, and planted herself right in front of me with her arms crossed, like she was some kind of authority figure. "Young man," she said, "you should be ashamed of yourself." I blinked. "Sorry." Taking up a seat meant for people who actually need it. My knees are shot. I work 2 jobs, and here you are, probably on TikTok all day, hogging space that's not meant for you. I stayed calm. "Ma'am, this is a disability seat. I booked it because I need the legroom." "Oh, please," she scoffed. "You look perfectly healthy. What's your disability?" "Chronic laziness." At this point, I could feel my pulse start to kick up, but I still tried to keep my voice level. "Ma'am, I'm not required to prove anything to you. Please go back to your seat." Wrong answer, apparently. She stepped even closer, leaned in like she was about to interrogate me. "I bet you faked some paperwork to get the good seat." Disgusting. You people game the system, take handouts, and think no one notices. That was the moment something inside me shifted. I've had rifles aimed at me in the desert. I've seen comrades go down right in front of me, but somehow this woman's smug tone hit a nerve I didn't know was still raw. Still, I held back. "This is your final warning. Step away from me, or you're gonna regret it." She laughed. "Oh, is that a threat, tough guy?" And then this part is burned into my memory. She reached down, grabbed my ankle, and yanked. She literally tried to pull my leg off. I kicked back instinctively, jerking my leg away. But she had already pulled up the hem of my pant leg, and her eyes widened like she'd seen a ghost. "Wait. It's metal." "Yeah, genius. It's titanium. You just tried to rip off a war veteran's prosthetic leg." And somehow, she kept going. "You probably bought that online," she snapped. "I'm calling the cops. You're faking this. I'll have you arrested for fraud." That's when the army came back in me. I dropped the voice. The one I used when raw recruits thought they could sleep through drills. I didn't yell. I didn't need to. Sit your entitled ass down before I make you regret ever opening your mouth. Dead silence in the car. The couple next to us stopped chewing their bagels. A kid halfway into a juice box froze. Even the conductor up front probably felt the chill. And what did Karen do? She shrieked. He threatened me. This faker threatened me. She scurried back to her seat. But she wasn't done. Not even close. A few minutes later, we hit the next station and 5 officers boarded. One of them pointed straight at me. Sir, we got a call. I was already rolling up my pant leg. She's the one you want. You should have seen their faces. One officer tilted his head like, you gotta be kidding me. The prosthetic gleamed under the lights. I gave them the full story, how she harassed me physically, assaulted me, tried to rip my leg off, screamed slurs. I'm not even going to repeat on this video. And thankfully, the passengers around us backed me up word for word. Even one guy had the whole thing on video. They cuffed her right there. On the floor of car C, she screamed, of course, claimed she was being framed, that she was just standing up for the real disabled community. Whatever that means. As they walked her past me, she hissed, "This isn't over." I replied, "Oh, it is. And you just bought yourself front row seats to a courtroom." The officers apologized, thanked me for my service, and the train rolled on. The rest of the ride was tense. Nobody said much. Some folks gave me little nods of respect. A couple looked shaken, maybe ashamed. They didn't speak up sooner. That weekend with my mom was peaceful. But come Monday, I got the call, court date set. I went in, gave my statement. So did the other passengers. The video didn't lie. Karen, she folded fast, took a plea deal, 2 years probation, 200 hours community service, and a permanent record. I heard through the grapevine she's now banned from that entire rail line, probably for the best. You know it's funny. She made a whole scene about how I look too healthy to be disabled. But what does disability even look like? Pain doesn't always scream. Sometimes it limps quietly through metal and memory. People love to talk about stolen valor. But there's another kind of theft that gets ignored. The theft of dignity, of space, of peace. When someone assumes they have the right to judge you on sight. I didn't share this story for pity. I shared it because too many people out there carry scars that don't fit into neat little boxes, and they shouldn't have to rip up their pant leg to prove it. So now I want to hear from you. Have you ever been misjudged in public? Ever had someone assume the worst just by how you looked or didn't look? Drop a comment below. I want to know your stories. And if you think Karen got off too easy, let's talk about it. Justice doesn't always come with flashing lights. Sometimes it walks in quietly on a metal leg and stands its ground.